And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
We get together, have a few laughs.
I'm Erock. To my left, I got...
Why are you telling the direction that I'm in?
I don't know.
That was a good...
Somebody
he just
could
fucking
find
rained
me.
on his parade.
Somebody could find me. I'm Theo.
And I'm Teepee. And that was Erock introducing us, I think, for the first time.
That's what you guys get.
No, that's not the first time. He's done it.
Anyways, start off with some local news.
Brought by Erock as well.
Yeah.
So, even better.
Yep.
The twofer.
So, you want to read this one, Erock?
No, I don't.
Okay, well.
Oh, well, thank you for being candid.
Yeah, we appreciate your honesty. All right, I'll start it off here. Iowans will vote on gun rights amendments this fall.
This is the Des Moines Register. Stephen Gruber Miller, September 1st, 2021.
I wonder if he's related to Miller Meeks. Anyway, here's what you need to know. Iowans will vote this fall on whether to add the right to keep and bear arms to the state's constitution, adding language that would go beyond the protections contained in the U.S. Constitution's Second Amendment. Supporters say the amendment is necessary to protect Iowans' rights from infringement, while opponents say passing the amendment would make it easier to strike down existing gun laws that make it harder to pass new regulations. Republicans on the Iowa legislation have worked for years to place the measure on the 2022 ballot, where it must be approved by a majority of Iowan voters in the November 8 election in order to be added to the state constitution. So this could be already done and passed over with. By the time you're listening to this episode, it's going to be well past November 8th.
Yeah, well, that's the theme with a lot of the midterm stuff we're going to be talking about here. It is slightly timeless, and that's just the nature of our show, right?
Right, but we like to bring you local Iowa news, too.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about local Iowa news and midterm stuff that is going to be passed already without us knowing by the time you listen to it, so... That's
just
the
on
disclaimer.
this one, we're talking about some other stuff tonight, too, that I think you guys are really going to enjoy.
Hey, as with every other show that we do, the idea is the most important thing.
Right. But, go ahead.
So what does the amendment say?
All it will do is add to keep and bear arms as an enshrined right in the Iowa Constitution, because the Second Amendment enshrines the right to keep and bear arms in the U.S. Constitution, right?
Right.
But however, the Iowa Constitution does not include the words that every Iowan has the right to keep and bear arms.
Right.
So they're just going to add it, is what this apparently ballot measure for the Constitution.
Hopefully, by the time you're listening to this, it is added on.
Well,
it says here, the language of the proposed amendment states, quote, "The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The sovereign state of Iowa affirms and recognizes this right to be a fundamental individual right. Any and all restrictions of this right shall be subject to strict scrutiny," unquote. That's some language I can get behind.
I'm just surprised that the original Iowa Constitution
didn't have it.
Didn't originally
provide.
I would imagine it was already just taken. It was taken for granted. Iowa became a state in 1846, I believe. I just I would imagine that it was so taken for granted that you had a firearm out here.
Right.
That they didn't bother. Well, it's already in the U.S. Constitution. But,
so can the federal government go over top of this?
Well, I'm not sure what you're asking because the Second Amendment already says that they can't infringe upon it. So any way that any government already infringes upon the Second Amendment, i.e. FOID cards and all of that other stuff that people like in Illinois, a FOID card is firearm owner identification. I know certain states, I know Mississippi has one. It's all unconstitutional.
So, like marijuana.
What about it?
Say Illinois.
Yeah.
You can smoke it. But on the federal level, it's still not legal.
Illegal.
That brings us to another amendment that nobody talks about, but is just of absolute such fundamental and super importance to the United States of America. And that's the 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment is a catch-all, so it's part of the Bill of Rights. And it says essentially that if it is a power that is not enumerated to the federal government by the Constitution, if it is not defined in all of these articles and yada, 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 and given to the federal government in this Constitution, then that means that it is default a power given to the states or to the people. The federal government doesn't have the power. So when it comes to... It's so interesting how Democrats are 10th Amendment folks when it comes to weed, but not allowing their citizens to buy firearms and ammunition in a legal...
So with this, could I go buy a rocket launcher?
Well, I don't know about all that.
Excuse my ignorance.
Theoretically, if you can afford it, yeah.
But
that's expensive, dude. One of those rounds is thousands of dollars.
I mean, granted, I think that also comes down to personal responsibility. Do you really need a rocket launcher?
Yeah, well, could I buy a nuke? Yeah, well, could you afford to maintain it and
store it?
Yeah,
and all that
it's
stuff.
I
mean, that's a ridiculous question. Who actually... I don't even know where you could find a rocket launcher for sale in the United States.
Yeah, what was that Joe Biden thing about the cannons back in the Civil War?
Yeah.
You couldn't own a cannon.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, absolutely. They were just incredibly expensive, so people didn't just fucking play the clip.
All right.
When the amendment was passed, it didn't say anybody can own a gun and any kind of gun and any kind of weapon. You couldn't buy a cannon, and when this amendment was passed, and so no reason why you should be able to buy certain assault weapons. But that's another issue.
But yeah, the 10th Amendment, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people.
I want everybody to listen to that because people don't think about that one very much, right? Mm. How often do you hear? You always hear first, second, fourth, right?
Yeah.
Fourth, searches and seizures. Second, right to bear arms. First, freedom of religion. We are not a theocratic state.
Yes.
Freedom of speech. It's all so important. Amendment 10 specifically says, they said right in the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
That if this Constitution doesn't give it to the federal government, they don't have it. It's either the states or the people. And apparently, well, that's for the states to just...
And guess what, people? We want our states to have more power than the federal government. That is more beneficial to us.
Absolutely. And
more beneficial.
Okay, so break this down for all the stupid people like me.
Okay. What do you mean?
What?
Break down
why they even need to...
They're adding that language.
It's slightly cumbersome, isn't it? I mean, it's...
But
I got a text message today telling me to vote no.
They're adding it to ensure that our constitutional rights to bear arms are it's even more...
It's a fortification. It's a bolster. I don't know.
So
it's a rally.
Here's this text message I got. It was from a 515. I think that's...
no.
What, that Des Moines?
That's Des Moines.
Yeah. And it says, quote, Don't risk letting dangerous felons own firearms. Vote no on Constitutional Amendment 1.
Yeah, I don't
Reckless Gun
think
Amendment,
that it would.
IA4, Responsible Gun Laws.
No, it's not going to put.
So
Text stop to
that's
quit.
called political propaganda.
Why
There's
am I getting
nothing.
that?
There wasn't even anything in the article saying about
That they're going to
allowing
allow felons to have,
to yeah.
even though let's just be honest. Hey, this is what we do on this podcast. If you read the Second Amendment, it doesn't say anything about felons not having firearms.
That's true.
So that just flat
That
out,
is a good
period,
point.
end of argument.
So can a felon,
However,
after this,
nothing.
if you vote yes, can a felon
No.
own a firearm?
Nothing would
Well,
change.
that's what the text just said.
Yeah. Well,
Don't believe everything you read on the internet.
was this a campaign text
yeah,
that you
that's
received?
political
Yeah.
propaganda, man.
But
It's
now,
BS.
can school shooters now? Is this going to increase that?
Is this going to allow school shooters to walk into a school and shoot a bunch of kids?
Well, remember that one time when they decided to do constitutional carry here in Iowa,
Yeah.
and everybody was saying the same thing.
It happened.
Oh, there's going to be shootings everywhere. It's going to be like the Wild West in Iowa, and
No, nothing really changed.
I'm pretty sure crime decreased in some areas, but it's
Rural.
stayed consistent. Yeah,
in the the
Nothing.
towns that we have, crime is
Yeah.
pretty consistent with everywhere else.
yeah. So
Just the thing about Iowa is that most of the population is in those very, very few places.
right? And
The rest of us are out in the middle of nowhere, except Skid Row over here.
yeah, but
Okay, let's circle back to this Des Moines Register article.
Circle back on that one.
yeah, that's what.
And it says, what do opponents say the amendment would mean? Opponents of the amendment say it would make it harder to pass new gun laws as well as put existing gun laws at risk of being overturned.
Here's the
Good. We don't need more gun laws.
There was just
Well,
a
break it
ruling
down,
in New
break
York.
it down to me. I don't know.
There was just another ruling in the Supreme Court of New York recently
Really?
that didn't have that didn't involve what was the vaccines that we brought up, the back pay.
Oh yeah, the back pay
for I think we barely even brushed on it and didn't even explain it, but it was back pay
the
offered
last
for
episode.
fired vaccine folks.
Yeah, employees that did not want to get vaccinated that got terminated.
They got
from the
terminated,
position.
got reinstated, back pay rights, yada,
Yes.
yada, yada, from the New York Supreme Court. Well, another one that they did was that you don't have to ask for permission for a concealed carry permit. And then that's what
Okay.
the New York Supreme Court
I get behind that.
said.
Okay, so let's hear this
But
lady.
it's a deliberate interpretation of the Second Amendment, folks. It's not hard. You don't have to really. The interesting thing is, hey, look, on this show, what do? We use our imaginations.
Yeah,
We talk. We use what are all of the possibilities.
and we're not that good at it.
But the Constitution is very specific. It's not perfect.
No,
It's written by men trying to let's try this out. Let's try to bar
Something
government
totally
as much as
new.
we can.
Yeah.
Let's try to bar government as much as we can. And there's not much room for interpretation.
Well, according to this lady, she says, quote, "We believe that the way of that the gun amendment is worded is reckless." Connie Ryan, executive director of the Interfaith Alliance of Iowa. "It is irresponsible. It will put common sense gun safety laws in harm's way, which then
Common
will have
sense.
a direct impact on Iowans and our own safety."
Common sense releasing criminals onto the streets.
yeah, that's common sense, right?
Yeah.
Common sense gun laws is a political term used by the left, just like assault rifle doesn't exist. Common sense gun laws that's the term they use when they're like, we need to pass this stuff, like the Patriot Act. If you're a real American, you get behind the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
And all that did was just screw every American.
Yeah.
Since then, still
It's a
hasn't been.
really good
How many
way to
lives
put the
does it
noose
save,
around
though?
your neck.
Yeah. They
You'll
make
never
it
know
sound.
how many lives it saved.
You're right. Yeah. I know how many lives it took. Go ask Iraq and Afghanistan and all over Northern Africa.
Yeah. And 15-year-old Americans
Yeah.
in Yemen.
Yep. American citizen
Yep.
getting
That
smoked.
the peace guy, Obama, killed him. Just executive order. what was the term that they used? Just like executive action. Like, I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about? Like, just, get rid of him.
He was on that kill list.
And he was guilty of
association because his father was a terrorist. Alleged terrorist section leader or whatever.
What's a terrorist anyway? Well, it sounds like these days a terrorist is anybody going against Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Or PayPal.
Well, that's part of it.
We moving on from the Iowa Amendment?
I mean, well...
Yeah, common sense gun laws are ridiculous. That's just a term. Common sense gun laws are like no gun zones. Gun-free zones. How many school shootings has that stopped?
Well, they're called common sense gun laws because they don't really use common sense.
They're pretty much the
that's why
opposite
common
of
sense has to be used in it in a political fashion. It's really that simple. Politicians have to use words that
to trick us,
that disingenuously, if that's even a word, to convince people, well, enough people. Unfortunately, there are enough people to convince that this is what we need to do to get this passed, and this common sense gun, well, red flag. We just a judge. All it is a judge getting to decide if you get to own a gun or not, and they're going to make a really good decision. No,
because they're a judge.
This is one of the founding principles of this country is that, we're not going to let some magistrate just...
Would that be considered like doublespeak? Like George Orwell's? Like they're telling you one thing, but they actually mean something totally different.
Well, it sounds like it, doesn't it?
Kind of.
So, here's what the article says. The supporters... What does the amendment mean? Those who oppose the free exercise of the right to keep and bear arms have been trying for over 100 years to get around. We view it is as they are trying to get around the language of the Second Amendment. And frankly, they've been pretty successful.
Yeah,
words mean things.
These people just make up a narrative. They just make up a story. They're trying to get around the words of the Second Amendment. No.
Well, this is the...
No, the words of the Second Amendment are so simple and easy to understand that you have to craft a story
to get around. Okay,
to get around
that's what
it.
You're saying.
Yeah. You have to just make up some fable that only the very few people in your bubble are willing to. Well, I can't say few people. The very few people that live in your small area. Right?
Yeah.
Like neighborhoods.
So what kinds of gun regulations would be at risk if the amendment passes?
Nothing.
Well, they say
nothing will be different.
They could include stronger background checks. I mean,
do
you want an 18-year-old buying a gun?
Well, you're legal to own a firearm or buy a firearm if you're 18.
Yeah.
And restrictions on certain people owning firearms.
You can't just go buy a gun, folks. I don't understand what's going on. You have
on certain kinds.
You get a background check.
This is not 1960.
You get a background check. I don't understand what the idea about. Well, sometimes you can just go into a gun show.
Yeah, there's no gun show loophole.
No.
You still have to fill out the ATF form.
No, it doesn't happen. You don't just go buy a gun anywhere.
Oh, right. Okay. Here's where the felon thing goes. They're worried approving the amendment could mean that future lawmakers would be unsuccessful in passing gun regulations like strengthened background checks and extreme risk protection orders, which are often known as red flags. And it says, as those convicted of certain misdemeanor, domestic violence offenses, and people with certain mental health concerns. So I'm a little confused. Like, the verbiage of this. Is this like the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida? Where it doesn't say don't say gay, but...
Yeah, where the word gay was not in the bill whatsoever. That's exactly what this is. I'm surprised that the Iowa Constitution doesn't have gun protection
already
in it. Number one. But number two, I don't know what... This does seem like a bit of a red herring. Like, people that are for this as well, it does seem like a bit of a waste of time.
Yeah.
Even though I would be glad to see those words in the Iowa Constitution.
Right. And it may be very simple as going back to they just assumed when it was our Constitution was written, why would we have to reiterate on this when the federal Constitution already...
In 1846, not having a firearm or something of the sort, bow and arrow, which
for us common folk,
the Anglo-Euro folks going out across the plain weren't using bow and arrows. Well, maybe some were.
Probably.
It was taken for granted. There are a lot of people out there that have, the Second Amendment is very simple. If you want to own a firearm, join a militia or join the National Guard. No. Absolutely not. Not even that has absolutely nothing in common with the intent or the spirit of the time of passing the Second Amendment.
Right.
The Second Amendment was you keep firearms, weapons in your home. 3, Democrats, leftists, whatever the hell you want to call them, they're just freaking out. They're just freaking. That's all they're just freaking
afraid.
out.
Yeah.
They're just freaking out.
They're trying to use fear tactics to make sure they don't lose the House or the Congress right now. And once again, we're going to find by the time you guys listen to this, we'll know what's already going on with the midterms. It's
that's pretty high level. The other ones, the useful idiots are just pawns in a game to be the overthrowers in this color revolution of the United States.
Don't we need to donate our guns to Ukraine?
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking that to myself earlier.
Oh yeah.
People. We should confiscate everybody's AR-15s and send them to Ukraine. Some turd face said that on Twitter, right?
I think we discussed that.
Reiner?
I'm pretty sure we discussed that on a show before, and then we brought up
George Takei.
They should have gave him
phasers.
Should have given them all those weapons we left for Afghanistan. For the Taliban.
Yeah. And it's real easy for a guy that has been, in control of a proton phaser to not want the average guy to have in 30-06.
Well, Trump, he instituted Space Force.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's coming.
All right.
We won't be alive to see it, but
are we moving on then?
Let's move forward with some other stuff here.
We'll be
tonight.
dead.
We already said PayPal.
Yeah, so let's get into this because
the misinformation. You can't buy firearms with PayPal.
Well, this is a tech startup .com article by a Daniel Levy. PayPal reinstates its policy to take $2,500 from your account if you spread misinformation.
What's misinformation?
What does we've asked that before on the show.
Well, yeah, in this episode,
on the last episode
probably.
too. I mean, like
what? It's whatever the hell they want it to be at the time that is politically convenient for them, dude.
And as we spoke in the previous episode about COVID misinformation, turns out some of that stuff was true.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that people
some
were
of it, most
you're
of it,
spreading misinformation turns out was true.
Yeah.
People depend on PayPal.
So this is really risky, slippery, slopey
where they can draw
territory.
The line. Yeah.
that they're starting to tread on here.
Well, in digital terms, because
I wonder why they went back on this after
I don't think
backlash.
I don't think we should lose sight of cash.
They claimed that it wasn't.
Yeah, this article came out at the end of October 27th, and it said, earlier this month we wrote about PayPal after the company said it would take $2,500 from your account if you spread information. The payment giant...
Misinformation,
if
you mean?
spread...
27?
$2,500
25, okay.
from your account if you spread misinformation. The payment giant...
You said information.
I mishmash.
If you spread information, we will fucking fine you.
Hey, that could be the case too.
No, you're good, bro. You're good,
what
bro.
they consider to be misinformation could actually be tangible information.
So that's exactly the point.
Yes. The payment giant later backed down after social media backlash, saying the notice went quote, out in error, unquote, and will not seize funds from its customers for promoting, quote, misinformation.
Yeah. Okay, we'll still allow you to quote misinformation, okay?
Well, not now. No.
Yeah, because less than 3 weeks after it backtracked on its new policy, PayPal has now reintroduced the $2,500 fine in its newly updated policy.
We're going to charge you for the misinformation after all.
After all, yeah.
Where did they come up with that number?
Well,
How
that's a
is
good
that?
round number, you know?
2,500, not 2,000.
I'll tell you exactly why.
Not 3,000.
Not $250.
I'll tell you exactly why.
Why?
How many Americans do you think have $2,000 in their bank account?
Probably not many, especially after COVID.
It's a legitimate
the
question.
Shutdowns, yeah.
Not after.
Not even before COVID.
Not after.
Just
Joe
how many
Biden.
people live in?
That's true. Yeah.
Well, now you know.
No judgment.
Right. Hey, I've been.
Damn
there.
it! I've been.
I'm poor white trash.
Yeah.
So-
we have established that we are white trash on this program.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're we
But
get it, dude. But
we
yeah,
are-
that's got to be rough. I mean,
Well-
that would be devastating to some families. That's a house payment. That's a car payment.
But
That's
you know what? Here's
food for your family for the month.
Here's the advantage that we have where we live. Is that, man, you know, some guy with a flatbed, a welder mounted to that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He can go make some money. He don't give a shit if PayPal's
right
charging $2,500 for misinformation. You know what I mean? So
Well-
it's like that. This is a product of this digital age,
Yes.
this digital era,
which is a lot of things are moving to, and like you had said, you know, we have PayPal accounts. We don't really use them for that much, but
I do.
A lot of people,
Hey,
yes, a lot of people
What
use
about
them
the
for internet.
$600? So the IRS is coming after anyone who receives over $600 in payments for goods and services processed by third-party payment apps like PayPal and Venmo.
well, this is pretty clampdowny. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
That's taxing the products that you already paid sales tax on to purchase and
This
that you're
is-
reselling.
yeah.
That's a private sell, should not be taxed. I don't agree with that at all.
But it came out of the COVID, the Rescue
Yeah.
Plan Act.
But here's another thing: is that PayPal they'll have. So how would they know that you're spreading misinformation? Right? That would be the because
they are the omnipotent purveyors of all factual, accurate, and enlightened information in the universe.
No.
Are they going to listen
Oh.
to this and say,
Oh,
Yo,
sorry.
Erock,
We didn't like you
Yeah.
on that podcast, so we're going to fine you.
and you've already made $600?
So you didn't pay your taxes. Now we're going to fine you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, though. A lot of people have their social media accounts linked to their PayPal, making transactions on Facebook, Instagram,
Venmo.
Using them
accounts as
to
well.
market their product.
Right. So then if they say something that may have been, and if you listen to our last episode about the COVID amnesty, 2 years ago it might have been considered misinformation. Nowadays, it's considered true information.
This is why you don't stop speech. This is why
Yeah.
you don't prevent people from speaking.
So the only way to combat this is you just have to legitimately just boycott PayPal. We're done.
Well,
Stop using them.
yeah, hard to do
They-
for people that make money that way.
Yeah, but like there's Venmo. There's other ways
But
to obtain
Venmo's,
money.
I mean, well, the government's involved in that too.
Right.
The Cash Apps is.
And so and then where does it come? So you just stay off of social media? I mean,
People
That's
lived that way for a long time.
That's
people
true.
did it that way for a while.
but now we live in a day and age where people are addicted to it.
Not if there's a massive solar flare,
Oh,
because they'd be in withdrawals then.
dun dun dun. Could happen. But yeah, I mean, you can go read this article yourself, and it talks about just basically PayPal bringing this up, and it's really unremarkable why they're doing that.
Well, it's because they're trying to control the narrative. That's because there is a power group that is trying to control all of the information that everybody is getting. So that brings us to the point.
Let me finish this real quick.
Oh, okay.
It just says here, effective November 3rd, the new policy will permit the payment giant will enable the company to withdraw $2,500 from your account if they find anything you've said to be objectionable, including misinformation or discrimination of groups or individuals based on gender identity.
Oh.
The new policy will apply actions taken via PayPal's platforms.
Based on gender identity.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot more than just based on gender identity, but we'll see.
Why does that have to do with banking and money, and why? I just don't understand.
Well, if they can't force their will upon us by telling us to, then they're going to hit us where it hurts.
Why does it have to do anything with a monetary transaction?
Right.
Because if you can't spend money on things, if you can't get money,
no, I see where he's coming from.
What?
It's a fine.
Explain to me.
No, but what he's saying is by spreading, quote, misinformation, what does that have to do with a monetary fund? Are you trying to sell a book that you're spreading misinformation? Or no. If you have a totally separate business that you're generating income through PayPal on, as using that as a payment transaction.
Yeah, what's this thought police?
And then on your
what is this thought police? That's exactly what you just said.
Yeah,
it's just like the social credit system in China. We haven't.
Obviously, it's coming.
Let me finish my point here real quick. So, if you make on your private account a claim or share an article that then would be construed as misinformation, then they have no right. That doesn't make any sense. They have absolutely no right to come in over to your business side and fine you for something that you shared or you thought was misinformation. That's freedom of speech, people. Saying whatever you want to be able to say without being prosecuted for it is freedom of speech.
They do if it's in the terms of service.
Right, because you agreed to those terms of service.
It's like that South Park
if it's in the human caterpillar, then
how?
It's in, and that's the other thing, folks. You agreed to those terms of service.
Hey,
so that's why I said the only way to fight this is to boycott it.
Oh,
you're to blame.
You're the one.
It's your fault.
That is selling my point now. I see how this is going.
That's why we're a team. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Cheers.
Yeah. Just like some other teams working on some stuff right now.
What, the DHS? The
Department of Homeland Security, their teams are at it again. We brought this up in shows before in the past about the Department of Homeland Security really buckling down on domestic citizens about stuff. Rand Paul, we spoke about Rand Paul having that 13-hour filibuster talking about Department of Homeland Security wanting to make U.S. returning veterans put them in a light as domestic terrorists.
Yeah,
right?
Well, I think that it was his father, Ron Paul, Congressman Ron Paul, Representative Ron Paul, that was talking about how a Department of Homeland Security, which was a Bush administration deal.
Yeah, that was created after 9/11.
After 9/11, you know, in response to 9/11, rather. About how it's going to be turned on its own citizens. Well,
weird.
Here we are.
21 years later.
Here we are, folks. You know, full circle.
Yep.
Psaki circled back.
Psaki back. So,
I wonder what Psaki was doing in 2001.
She was probably in junior high.
No.
So, Truth Cops.
We're not that old.
Leaked documents outline DHS plans to police disinformation. It's an article on The Intercept.
Well, they had that gal that, that, gosh, I saw her name earlier, that Jen Jankowitz or what, no. They had the Mary Poppins singing gal, right?
Oh,
that was going to do all the disinformation stuff.
Office of Misinformation.
And then that, went away.
Right.
But they're still doing it. It's not like...
And you know what's funny? We did a show on that, and we even said that this is not... they're going to rebrand it.
Yes.
It's not going to go away.
So we did.
So this definitely, to circle back, to just say...
Sack you back.
to what we said months ago on our show. Yeah, this is happening. It says, the Department of Homeland Security is quietly broadening its efforts to curb speech it considers dangerous.
Yes.
And an investigation by The Intercept has found years of internal DHS memos, emails, and documents obtained via leaks in an ongoing lawsuit, as well as public documents, illustrates an expansive effort by the agency to influence tech platforms.
Imagine that. But we are only able to sacky back on stuff like this on the heels of people that already warned us before.
Right. Yeah.
We knew this was going to happen.
We're just sharing the information that's available to everybody that we find. That you're available to find it. That's why in our description we say, don't believe a word we say, do your own research. We can only help point you in the right direction.
Do you understand how many times you have to call yourself stupid?
Me?
When you're researching stuff like this?
Oh, yeah.
Because you were wrong. And you were just so wrong. Like, how could you idiot?
Yeah.
But no, seriously, it's human nature. It's most people are willing to just go with the program, and the problem is who's behind all of it? Like, what was Bush and those guys? What were they really doing when they put the Department of Homeland Security in?
Reptilian aliens that drink baby's blood are behind it. No.
I think it was George Soros.
That's the same thing anyway, right?
Klaus Schwab, as I would really say. The reptilians, or whatever the fuck they call them.
Well, they're cold-blooded, that's for damn sure.
Right? Yeah. And I could see him drinking baby's blood just because it's so heinous and evil that they would do it just to get a thrill out of it.
Well,
not saying that people actually do that.
It would surprise you, but
at the same time it wouldn't.
You sick. That's
work?
what these sick bastards are doing.
Does it work? I'd do it.
I don't think it works. Dianne Feinstein still looks like Skeletor.
I guess Hillary Clinton still looks like shit too.
Yeah. So if that's what they're doing, it's not working out for them.
Bags on her eyes.
Yeah, but anyways,
how much Cannibal Corpse have you listened to, dude? You evil bastard!
Dying fetus.
Yeah.
Kill your mother and rape your dog.
No,
that's a dying fetus song. All right. So moving on.
Wow.
Not moving on, but let's continue on this. I'm sorry. The work, much of which remains unknown to the American public, came into clearer view earlier this year when DHS announced a new Disinformation Governance Board, a panel designed to police misinformation, quote, false information spread unintentionally.
That's what old Mary Poppins was in charge of.
Okay, so that if the Department of Homeland Security is defining misinformation as false information spread unintentionally. Okay, and we just talked about how PayPal wants to fine you for misinformation.
Yeah.
Okay, so you, like I said, spread information that may have been incorrect, unbeknownst to you or anybody else in the world at the time, and they're still going to ping you for it.
We can't get amnesty?
Right?
What? Where's the Atlantic?
Yeah. Where's what was her name? Emily Oster. Where you at?
No.
So okay, but going on here, the government's board is designed to police misinformation. They define as false information spread unintentionally. Disinformation they define as false information spread intentionally, and malinformation, which is factual information shared typically out of context with harmful intent. Holy shit.
So like a meme.
In typical government fashion, just like giving everything an acronym, impersonalizing it, right?
Dude, that is fucking scary.
Well, the progression there was
factual information shared typically out of context with harmful intent.
With harmful intent, yeah.
So who designates what's harmul about it?
I've been asking this question the whole fucking episode.
Yeah, we haven't. I'm sorry.
Who are these damn people
overlords
defining this?
Right.
And what makes their shit stink less than ours?
Yeah, they have a better diet or what?
Well, yeah, I'm sure they have a better diet. The ones living on farms that produce all their own food and shit.
Dude, to me that is kind of terrifying, dude.
No,
because that means
no, it's brilliant.
Like, no,
they're going to make money.
No, they're not going to make money.
Making money,
dude.
man. It's about power.
It's Department of Homeland Security.
Okay. But do you think it's actually going to happen?
let's see. A lot of shit that the Department of Homeland Security has implemented has happened, yes.
What do you think it's going to look like in 20 years if we keep going this way?
Oh, my God.
If we don't do something.
Yes,
Erock?
if it's not stopped now.
I'm just questioning.
And if people aren't even informed about it.
I guess we wouldn't have thought,
hey,
all the COVID
never
measures.
let a good crisis go to waste.
Yes, we discussed this on the last show. This is
Rom.
This is it's just crazy. That's mind blowing to me. So if they would allegedly deem that as a threat against U.S. interests,
there are people out there that have never called themselves fucking stupid. They've never thought themselves a fucking dumbass before. Hey, hey, you were a real dumbass there, buddy. Talking to yourself. But no, these people think they're so damn smart.
Yeah.
And that by virtue of them being them, that they get to just, I am from Manhattan.
Yeah.
My grandfather patented chemicals
for Monsanto.
Yeah. For DuPont.
Yes. And that makes me superior to you.
Okay. I have a classical education. You do not.
Yeah. I can quote Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Not like I can.
No.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
So
I can light a fire.
You're right.
Though.
There's these people that they think that they think and I can fix your golf cart for you when it breaks down in Mexico. So let's continue. While the board was widely ridiculed, immediately it scaled back and then shut down within a few months, which was what we discussed earlier. Mary Poppins singing about disinformation on TikTok or whatever the fuck that was.
It's how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. It's how you hide a little lie. When Rudy Giuliani shared bad intel from Ukraine, or when TikTok influencers say COVID can cause pain, they're laundering disinfo and we really should take note and not support their lies with our wallet, voice, or vote. Oh!
And it says other initiatives are underway at the DHS pivots to monitoring social media now that its original mandate, the war on terror, has been wound down. So just like Rand Paul fucking warned us that when the war on terror is over, these systems are not going to be shut down. They're going to be used against the American citizens. Again.
I'm sorry, again,
to bring this up.
To say the same thing and bring the same thing up that I'm going to. But I remember his father on debate stages trying to get the nomination for the Republican Party for president, saying, hey, Republicans, you people here nominating us to become your party's president right now, these institutions are going to come for you someday.
Yep, and they laughed at him.
Yep.
They laughed.
Oh, you're crazy. They're just going for... They're just going for people in the Middle East that's trying to do us harm.
Ron Paul's been huffing too many of them chemicals as a doctor.
He might as well be a Democrat.
Yeah, or worse, a libertarian.
Yeah, except he's like more actually Republican and conservative than any... I mean,
by the majority of those warmongering, frickin' bloodthirsty Neanderthals.
Yeah. I think he voted no more times on the House floor than all other members of Congress combined.
Yeah, and he was ostracized by his fellow peers.
But yeah.
So, but here, let this article continues, though, and it gets more disturbing here. It says, behind closed doors and through pressure on private platforms, the U.S. government has used its power to try to shape online discourse. According to meeting minutes and other records appended to a lawsuit filed by Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt, a Republican who was also running for Senate, discussions have ranged from the scale and scope of government intervention to online discourse to the mechanics of streamlining takedown requests for false or intentionally misleading information. So some key takeaways here from this, what this article highlights real quick, and then we're gonna discuss these. Though DHS shuttered its controversial Disinformation Governance Board, a strategic document reveals the underlying work is ongoing. DHS plans to target inaccurate information on, quote, the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic and the efficiency of COVID-19 vaccinations, racial justice, U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, and the nature of U.S. support in Ukraine, unquote. All right, one more before we fucking tear this apart. Facebook created a special portal for DHS and government partners to report disinformation directly, which, Zucker got on Rogan.
Zuckerberg?
Yeah, Zuckerfuck got on Rogan and discussed that. The FBI showed up and said there was going to be misinformation stuff about the elections, and so we just let them do whatever they wanted because they're our government and they're here to help.
Dude, he just smooth talked his way out of it. That's all he did.
I think Rogan should have been a little more pressing on him, but I also think Rogan's playing the game the right way. He's a fighter, and you know what fighters do? They don't just go in there and just beat somebody to shit.
Well, that's that.
They pick and choose their shots.
They're very strategic, and they use their brain as opposed to their heart and their emotions. Yep. So, yeah, he has like the most influential platform in the world right now to express ideas, interview anybody, talk about anything.
Well,
and he has a lot of responsibility, and
yes.
I guess there's a good chance that I shouldn't say a good chance, there's a chance he's kind of this guy to do it. If you've ever read the book Atlas Shrugged, like he's one of these sort of characters to do it that just has the background, not like we're living in some fantasy, because we're not, but we're also,
some people are,
but reality is also it's more bizarre than any fantasy we've ever read, right?
The truth really is stranger than fiction.
Oh my,
the
truth scares people, man.
Well, and that's why they don't like to look into it.
It freaks people out.
So going back to these takeaways here, yeah. And Rogan, he's playing a smart game. He's being strategic. He's a fighter. So it says the DHS shuttered its controversial Disinformation Governance Board. A strategic document reveals underlying work is ongoing. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That's like kind of when the MK Ultra programs were shut down, but they were probably still ongoing and through different means, other ways. If they were being successful through certain programs, I'm sure they continued that on. They just
geared,
but this is just more
differently.
This is just more evidence showing that once again our government, our leaders, our political leaders told us that they were going to do something, and they didn't do it. They lied to your face again.
Yeah, it's a big surprise at this point in 2022. We're going into 2023.
Yeah,
are you saying the government doesn't have my best interest
in mind? No,
yeah,
absolutely not. No, I don't think
folks don't really think about this like they should, in my opinion. That's why we're going to introduce the Theo theory of life right now. Okay.
All right, new section,
and that is
we need some new theme song. Yeah, let
me take a puff off of this newly lit cigar that I just.
All right,
it's not newly lit. I just relit it. But all right, hold on. Here we go. It's almost like the 20th century was a test run for what we can do in controlling people, and not only controlling people, but. Look at some of the most important yes, absolutely important, and costly metrics of the 20th century. Human lives. Hundreds of millions of people dead. All right?
Yeah.
In wars, mustard gas. Why is
wars and ethnic cleansing?
Why is the military characterized by cleanly shaven faces and handsome men right now? Well, because they shave their faces so they can don a gas mask, so the air around you doesn't fucking kill you, as they learned in the trenches of World War I.
Yeah,
and men have been. Gunned down on islands in World War II. And
what was disinformation 50 years ago, 100 years ago?
I think misinformation 50 years ago would have been war propaganda.
Yeah, well, I mean, it all aided all of it, and
it was government sanctioned.
We're all so far into this story now that just keeps going,
the
perpetuating.
rabbit holes are freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, man,
dude. It's so crazy. Like, the truth really is stranger
now
than
government
fiction.
is trying to actually define what is information, misinformation, disinformation. 20, like I said, the 20th century was a test run, and damn it, I'm telling you what, hey, microwave meals, products. Here's this tube that you buy. Here's this thing that you hold in your hand, and you buy it, and we give you all of this information and track you and.
But yeah, there's all those other outlets and alternative with the technology now.
Like, what do you mean? Just apps on the phone?
Well, no, I just mean we all have the technology at our fingertips to learn the knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously there is a suppression going on.
Well, yeah, but it's also when you read the things that have happened and listen to things that have happened, it's hard to accept it because it's nasty, right? It's horrific. It's horrible.
But even simpler stuff, like I said, how many 100 years ago could black people vote? And if you were against that, is that misinformation? Women, could they vote?
No.
Was that?
Well,
if you thought a woman should be able to vote, and now we're all intellectually superior that we can...
no,
dude, no, that's a really good
we're not. It's not like we're
no, that's a really good point. What he's saying, though, if you were outspoken against the mainstream narrative that women shouldn't vote, and you're saying no, I think they should,
was that misinformation?
Would you be considered a disinformation spreader?
Oh yeah, but
and so now I'm saying like we are this much more evolved than we were back then because we have this technology.
That's what I was going to say. No,
we're not.
We're still.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
We're still look.
I see a point you were getting at. Yeah, that was a good point.
We're dumb and ignorant.
Unfortunately,
all of us.
Yeah,
but we're dumb and ignorant.
But at this time, and they think that they are that more superior in knowledge.
Yes, these fucking people do.
They don't.
They've never been able to call themselves dumb and ignorant. They would get pissed off if you said that. Right?
Oh yeah, they would get offended.
Absolutely. Fuck no. Everybody is dumb and ignorant to an extent.
Yes.
But these damn people, hell no. You can't tell them that. They'd freak out.
Yeah.
But it's true.
But PayPal now has
they have the
moral authority.
They're the ones that are going to they're probably going to get their information from the Department of Homeland Security because, like, once again, this says the Department of Homeland Security plans to target inaccurate information on the origins of COVID-19 pandemic, the efficiency of the COVID-19 vaccine, racial justice, and the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, and the nature of U.S. support in Ukraine. Those are some pretty broad... And in that short little sentence, that's a lot of stuff that could cover that.
Yeah, incredibly divisive subjects, too.
Exactly.
Just
so
fundamental moral issues that people disagree about.
I mean...
how can you do that?
Dude, so just by us saying, I am against any type of intervention or war in Ukraine...
Misinformation.
U.S. intervention?
Yes.
Give me 200... or
$2,500.
25,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna
2,500.
Actually, after
$250 $100 bills.
As a matter of fact,
that would be 25.
When we get done recording,
$250 $10 bills.
When we get done recording this
trillion, billion, million.
When we get done recording and
when I get done recording this show, I'm gonna delete your guys' fucking numbers.
Yeah. Fuck that. Yeah.
I'm gonna go delete my PayPal account. Fuck them.
You haven't yet?
No.
You've already recommended that people delete their PayPal, but you haven't deleted yours?
Well, by the time they listen to this show, it's going to be deleted, so...
I haven't deleted mine.
I'm not going to delete mine.
That's so messed up, dude. So, anyways, moving on to that, though, to track all this stuff, like I said, you're making money. You brought up if there's more than $600 on a transaction that the IRS...
If
it's over 600.
Yes.
or
through eBay,
or
PayPal,
if you sell
Venmo,
multiple. So if you make
goods and services, yes.
so if you make like $600 a day, you would have to, if it was
claim
like
it
sold
on my
multiple,
taxes, I'll get $10.99 on
in
that.
a transaction, right?
a single transaction
No.
or accumulation of
accumulation.
Okay,
What?
that's crazy, dude.
So
that's
if I
so
sold
ridiculous.
6 records at $100 a piece, yeah, then I'm breaking the 600. Yes,
And that's an IRS report.
a $10.99. You got to claim it. Before it was.
It's not hyperbole at
20,000.
all to say that
So-
that is some communist.
Yeah, they only
Iron-
basically want you making
That is some Iron Curtain bullshit.
Yeah, they only want you making roughly, 2,500 a week off of this. They don't want you going over that, right? Because that's to say you're only making $500 a day. They don't want you to make anything over $599.
So here's the beauty of living in Iowa, is that if you make $2,500 a week in Iowa, you're doing pretty good. But if you're living in LA making $2,500 a week,
Right.
shit, that's fucking. Or New York.
Dude, yeah,
Shit.
that's what I'm getting at, dude.
This
Yeah.
wasn't limited just to PayPal,
Not that I have
Venmo, eBay.
Not that I have so much sympathy. I mean, get the fuck out of it.
But
Airbnb.
If you're in LA, move to Eureka. Well, never mind, because
Okay.
the people in Eureka don't want you.
just don't bring your bullshit over to wherever you move to. But Erock, what were you saying?
No, I'm just saying it's not limited just to eBay or PayPal, Venmo. It's Airbnb even.
Oh, so that's just not pay. Oh,
No,
so
it's-
any online transaction,
Yes.
period. Oh, I didn't realize that.
Well, don't quote me on the exact. If say I made 600 in Venmo, 600 in.
I mean-
don't know how that is breaking.
Well, like Theo pointed out, making that here in Iowa, that's pretty good. But if you're living in a high income area, high cost of living area, then you're not going to be doing good at all, really.
But yeah, prior it was $20,000. You could do sales, so it was modified from its prior $20,000 in aggregate payments and 200 transactions to a new threshold of 600 in aggregate payments with no minimum transactions.
Okay, I apologize. Then I was wrong. I was confused. So I thought if you made 600 a day, over 600 a day,
No.
you would have It's 600 over the
Year.
year. Holy
Yes.
crap! So
Yeah, I've already hit that threshold.
basically, if you're
I resell stuff.
okay, that
I
is
bought a guitar.
absolutely ridiculous.
I bought a guitar for say so much,
right?
even though the money I spent, I paid taxes on. Then I paid taxes on that. Then the seller pays a state tax, and then they
Right.
and then
How many
I'm gonna
times
get
have they
taxed
taxed you?
on that?
Revolutions have been started over stuff like this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying we're going to do that, but
Yeah,
like,
well, this ain't just tea, Oh,
yeah,
I'm selling
this is.
$600.
Oh man, I was confused. I thought it was 600 a day. It's 600 a year, accumulation over a
Yes,
year.
yes.
Wow, that is worse. That's even more ridiculous, dude.
The
So
80
that's the
To take
reason.
over billionaires, or to
No, that's the 87,000
to check out what,
IRS agents they hired on.
Yes, that's
go
what I was
after the
just about to get to.
billionaires.
yeah,
Yeah,
to go after the billionaires.
over a course of a year, though, the dude, that's like, even if you're just selling like
I would
one
imagine that-
item a week,
I would
on the
imagine
side,
that most transactions on a billionaire's financial account are more than $600.
well, they're in a different class than us, and we don't have.
I think you missed where it was prior to this. It was 20,000. Which
Yes.
I'd never do
to
20,000
fight-
in online sales.
That'd be,
fight
a good,
terrorists.
that'd be a good side hustle, getting $20K extra a year, right?
to fight
So imagine
terrorists.
if we sold $600 in Iowa Talk Guys merchandise. Hey, you guys want a hat? We can't sell more than fucking 600. We're gonna get fucking taxed on it.
Unless we sell
Right,
them
we
at
gotta do an
$1 a
LLC.
piece, and then we'd be losing our own ass.
Where can I get an Iowa Talk Guys hat
And shirt too, and sticker.
and shirt?
Yeah, with the sticker.
IowaTalkGuys.com.
Anybody want one?
It's coming. Iowatalkguys.com.
Does anybody want
one? Working on it. I think some people want one. I want one. I'll wear one. Not to be
Iowa-
narcissistic.
Iowa Talk Guys cock ring.
Yeah, hey, if you guys
Kiss-
want one,
okay, that's
if
fine.
somebody wants one, we will find a company on the internet to make one that has our symbol on it for you, our emblem, our
You
logo.
can do the condoms.
Hey, that'd be cool too. That'd be a good. We should go to college towns and throw out our
personalized condoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has
Actually, it's
the
not-
logo
it's not
on the
too-
one side, and then on the other side
On
the
the
QR
wrapper.
code on the wrapper. Yeah, on the other side it's got the QR code.
Nah, we could get
Yeah, none of those college kids would like our shit anyway.
bullshit. We could get way better than that.
Yeah, no, I'm just
We could
kidding.
find
Sorry if you're in
something-
the college and you're listening.
No,
to
we
this.
could find a way to make college kids like stuff. I went to the campus of Iowa State recently.
Oh yeah.
I think that some college kids would
No,
listen to
I've
us.
had some conversations with some college guys a few years ago, and there's a lot of like-minded people. There's just
TP, if you would leave your sexual fantasies out of this, I would appreciate it.
it was no fantasy. It happened in real life.
On a college campus with college boys?
Yes, sir. Conversations were had. It was a good time. Anyway, yeah. So that's they're going to utilize those agents obviously against us. And if you haven't paid your taxes in a while on anything, then guess what? They're going to find out because Uncle Sam don't mess around when it comes to owing them money. If they owe you money, they're going to drag their feet until you're dead. But if they owe you money, boy, you better pay up because
Send people with guns your way.
Yeah, weird. And that's where it would come down to our police force. Our sheriffs really need to be the ones to be like, no, we're not going to enforce you.
Well, that's just the sheriff's department. I agree with you.
You know what I mean?
It's actually the only, constitutionally prescribed law enforcement
That's what I'm
office
saying.
in the land.
Yeah, and that's where it would come down to the sheriffs being like, no, this is not.
It's happened
right.
before.
Yeah. We've had our sheriffs in Iowa, the state of Iowa, being like, we're not doing that dumb stuff. No.
Yeah.
But there's been sheriffs down in Florida when they were trying to implement the no-knock warrants on like gun confiscation, and they're like, no, because my deputies like going home to their families at night.
Yeah. And
this is not Iraq or Afghanistan.
yeah, it's America.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
They have a right to do that.
Yeah.
And they have a right to. Well, I'm not going to put my deputies.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah. The sheriff. There was the Sheriff Mack guy out in Utah, I believe, as well. That I think it was Utah or Arizona.
somewhere out south. Was it Southwest?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. I think it might have been Arizona. Don't quote us on that. Look it up yourself.
He took
We need Erock. Look that up.
He took on the Clinton administration on the Brady ban, and I believe that he beat them in court. That he didn't have to enforce.
Really?
Not allowing people to own or purchase or sell AR-15s or assault weapons, quote unquote. Richard Mack, Sheriff Richard Mack.
Richard Mack?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, looks like Sheriff Mack's doing stuff here in 2022.
Yeah, he defeated the Clinton administration in court on the assault weapons ban.
Son of the FBI agent.
Yeah, well, anyway, moving on real quick.
The Brady ban was a Clinton gun ban, right?
Right. That's what I said. Clinton assault weapons ban. So, the last thing I want to kind of bring up here and talk about is that the left Democrats are bringing up election denialism as an issue, as like a thing or a psychiatric,
afraid of
a psychiatric category, right?
You're ultra MAGA right now.
I don't know what that means.
You're on a list.
Well, it looks like they're going for election deniers before COVID-19 deniers.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because if you look at a lot of the Democrat polling issues that Democrats are running on, 2020 election denialism is one of the major issues. And if you will just revert prior to 2020, from 2016 on the election of Donald Trump, of course,
Yeah, I was waiting for Erock to come from the left wing on that with what about all the 2016 election?
Yeah, the
deniers?
election was denied the whole way. I mean, there were impeachments.
Not my president.
There were impeachments regarding how Russia interfered in the 2020 election. In
the
fact,
2016 election.
Yeah, 2016 election. In fact, I got on, I want to say it was like MSNBC today.
Yeah.
And there's a headline about how some Russian oligarch admits to election meddling in 2016.
Oh,
However,
really?
With regards to 2020 and the midterms of 2022, like we said, haven't happened during this recording.
Yep.
Will have happened by the time it's released.
Yep.
They're already prepping.
Yep.
For election denialism.
Right.
Claims like, in fact, Biden offered a, quote, final warning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a warning from one of his spokespeople.
Okay, so
about denying whatever. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but so it's a, like I just previously said, it's a psychiatric category, election denialism, and for 4 years they did that. For 2 years they did that until 3 years, and then COVID.
Right.
So for 3 years it was Russia, and then it was
COVID.
Virus is going to kill everybody.
Right. Yeah. So
if Stacey Abrams doesn't win in Georgia, they stole it. It's clear. It's clear. And I say that publicly. It's clear.
You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
He knows he's an illegitimate president. He knows that there were a bunch of different reasons why the election turned out the way it did.
Votes remain to be counted. There are voices that were waiting to be heard.
And I will not concede.
I do not wish to debate. I wish to ask, is there one United States senator who will join me in this letter
There
of
is no
rejection?
debate.
The objection is signed by a member of the House, but not yet by a member of the Senate.
Well, it is over.
So, yeah, that's a really good point to bring up there, Erock, is that for the whole time after Trump became president, she was going on TV shows and newscasts and tours around the country.
Well,
saying that he
who
was
do you
an
mean?
illegitimate president. Yeah,
Who's
Hillary Clinton.
The president of fucking China? No, not him.
No. She, as in...
Yeah, Hillary Clinton.
Stupid.
Kamala Harris. Nancy Pelosi. I mean, all of these people, it was just hysterical nonsense. And they were dragging regular people into it the whole time as well.
Yeah.
And
we need a election denier amnesty.
Yeah.
Well,
why not?
Everybody does it. Whatever's going to happen after this election, either side is going to fucking say it.
Well, a bunch of people were saying that when Biden won, hashtag not my president. I'm like, come on. I get it, but
still your president.
It's going to happen, though.
It's silly.
Dewey defeats Truman, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I would agree. And then to circle back to the whole DHS disinformation thing, like...
Sack you back.
For them to say, you know, was that the malinformation, right? Their description of malinformation was
so is Tulsi
factual.
Gabbard a Russian asset?
I wouldn't be surprised if they would say that.
I mean,
what'd you say? Misinformation is what?
Oh, the malinformation, factual information shared typically out of context with harmful intent. No, that's not what Hillary and them were saying.
So everything that Hillary Clinton or Jamala Harris says, it has malintent, but
malintent. I wouldn't say everything they say, but a lot of stupid shit.
Just utterly incredible. It's not even a lack of self-awareness. Because these people have to know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
You would think, dude, like a part of you has to be like, I've thought that and had conversations in my head. So, all right, full disclosure. Shit that comes through TP's head that he never talks to other people about.
Smart people do that.
How the hell can these people honestly wake up every day and come out here and do this? Like, I can't stomach that, dude. I would not be able to live my... But it could be one of those deals that they say the lie, they sell the lie, that they believe the lie themselves, and then they continue to do it. You know what I mean? Like, but a part of them has to know that they're like, you're full propaganda. Okay, hey, guess what?
Sepultura song.
I'm human. I've told a lie before, and when I did, I knew I was telling a lie.
Yeah, didn't you feel like a shitbag?
Yeah, I don't feel good about it. Yeah.
And have you ever met somebody that is a liar?
Yeah,
like,
and
what the fuck is going on in their head?
And you know what men and you know what men do to each other when that happens, and it. Yeah, you know what, you piece of shit. That's all right. Here's a beer, dumbass.
You
all
lying motherfucker.
Yeah, we'll get past it.
It depends on what person. No,
yeah, I mean,
what's the difference between a habitual and a pathological liar?
Yeah,
well,
dude,
that's the thing.
That out
you
there.
don't go around the other one, and you gotta.
When honest men have lied, and
gotta sort them out.
Here, dude, I have done that. I'm not trying to toot my own horn about anything, but I've lied to somebody and then felt terrible about it, and then came clean about it in the future. And yeah, and the guy that I came forward about was like, I get in that situation, you know, I understand, yada yada yada. But I felt terrible about it, so that's why I felt I had to come clean. You know what I mean? There's a ton of people out there, and I've met them. Erock just brought it up that, yeah, they will lie to your face, bold face, all the time. I've had a guy
to look good.
I've had a guy look me in the eye, dude. I'm not kidding you. This is probably one of the biggest insults I've ever received in my life. The most disrespectful insult I've ever received in my life. Where I called this guy out on something, and he bold-faced looked me straight in the eye, shook my hand, and fucking lied to me again. And at the time, I was like, I really feel like this dude's lying to me. And then he left, and then I found out like 2 hours later that he had lied to me. And it was a pretty serious issue to where like he's, you know.
Is his lying, well, like I said, is it, I don't know the difference, pathological or habitual? And do they know they're doing it and act it, or is it just ignorance?
Well, I think some people they just lie so much that they're just used to lying.
Or they believe what
they're
they
used
say?
to lying though. Like they like
people in Washington
they can't help
D.C.
it. That would be a
probably
habitual liar, right?
People in Washington D.C. are probably so self-aggrandized.
Oh yeah,
that they believe that they are they believe that they are saying it, therefore it's true.
Well, and like we mentioned, I don't know if it was the beginning of this episode or the beginning of the last episode.
You know what I mean, Erock?
No, but hey,
I'm trying to wrap my head
like they
around
mentioned that though, they're lying to us for our own good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That's how they justify this.
Because you're not smart enough.
Right. You were too stupid, so let me think for you because you're an idiot. I don't know how people sleep at night with that mentality. Because these aren't little white lies. These aren't little white lies like, oh man, I lied about this and then, you know, little Jimmy didn't get a sandwich. Because I told him a lie. I told him we were all out so I could get 2 sandwiches. No, these are lies that people fucking die.
Yeah.
No longer on the face of the earth.
Well,
souls are gone because of these lies, and they justify that
people
as
that they spent other people's money on.
Dude, let's look at
people that they spent
Benghazi.
Yeah,
remember that lie?
That's what I'm saying about. You're saying Benghazi. You're saying 4 fucking people, a guy in the State Department. Shit, Teepee, you're the one that always brings up about how you were in the Marine Corps. It's not cheap to train a Marine.
No,
you got to feed them. You got to give them a place to sleep. You have to train them how to use a weapon.
Give them all this equipment.
You have to train them how to use weapons in expert fashion.
Train them, yeah, and
how to
use a compass, how to read a map, do all this stuff.
Competent in all of this stuff. There's a cost of human life somewhere.
Oh well, soldiers are okay.
And
so in the Batman movie, The Dark Knight, Joker explains it the best. If he was to tell you that a bus full of fucking soldiers or Marines were to blow up and die tomorrow, people might be like saddened by it, but they wouldn't be outraged because, well, that's their job.
Yeah.
But if a school bus of kids were blown up and killed tomorrow, it would be used to take away more of our rights.
Yeah, and there's a more emotional response.
Right. So, once again, these people that lie to us to get us into wars, to get people to go kill other people over lies, that's not on their conscience, dude. Also, because a lot of those guys attend the cremation of care ceremony at Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
They're good.
They burn effigies.
Their conscience is clean. They sleep like babies, I'm sure. But regular folk like you and I.
I don't understand how a ceremony like that could clean your conscience of.
I don't know. That's some deep ritualistic stuff.
What is that though?
But hey, Alex, you know what,
Jones?
dude?
Well, he went there. He
infiltrated it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when Alex Jones started getting really famous.
When Alex Jones actually was an investigative journalist that these fucking people that have hated him forever should have been doing.
Yeah, instead they just made a career talking shit about him.
Yeah.
So. Good for you.
And of course, yeah.
Found their niche.
He went in.
Look where he's at now.
He went in.
Yeah.
He got in.
$1 billion fine over a statement he made that didn't even cause any deaths whatsoever.
No. He's not gonna pay
we've
it,
mentioned that before. But just saying, he made a statement that that didn't cause. If he would have said nothing at all, those kids still would have died.
Yeah. Theme of what we're talking about
and
is
what he had said was post incident at the school. Right?
So we know
misinformation.
We on this program, misinformation, disinformation.
Right.
We on this program have given information that isn't fake or misinformation or disinformation, like Colin Powell went to the UN and lied.
Yeah, in front of everybody.
Yeah, and
not just the UN.
And
he was being recorded.
A war followed. So there's that cost in human life that I was just talking about.
Yeah,
somebody knew.
So
people knew.
How do you think he slept at night?
Well,
with a mattress that a lot good money can buy.
Yeah.
My Pillow.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know if Colin Powell. Maybe. Well, and that's the thing. And I've heard guys, Colin Powell had a very outstanding military record, and he had a lot of his troops underneath his command that really respected him a lot. And from what I heard from kind of the older generation of veterans and stuff is when all that went down, and then they realized, like this was all just a lie, this and that, like that kind of that killed one of their heroes. You know what I mean? Which happens a lot. That's why we're gonna make some T-shirts. I think a lot of you guys are gonna like. They're gonna be badass. I'm not gonna tell you what they are, but it has to do.
But no PayPal. Sorry.
Yeah, we're not using PayPal at all, and we're gonna keep all of our transactions under $600 a year. We'll try to make it work.
We should try to work on a transaction for $10 before we worry about that.
Yeah,
friends and family.
Those get discounts. So.
The only close to $600 transactions I've made are on a couple pieces of recording equipment and whatnot, and we're not seeing any returns.
Well, you know what?
But
it's PayPal
okay.
today.
We really are not in monetary.
One more thing.
Hey,
not monetarily.
Loving what we're doing, guys.
Yeah, we're getting good returns.
It's PayPal today, but look at Kanye West. Whether you not agreeing with what he said or didn't say or what he, but look
I know you love his music.
Well, I couldn't even tell you.
If you haven't figured out by now, we're talking about Chi-Town.
But what happened? His credit card what was that, Bank of America or what was that?
Oh, yeah. Well, Bank of America shouldn't be trusted anyways. Remember what happened after Sandy Hook when all those American citizens wanted to buy AR-15s and Bank of America froze their accounts? I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Oh, excuse me. J.P. Morgan.
You lost me.
Chase cuts ties.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I could see them doing it too. J.P. Morgan? Wow.
Chase.
That's an old name.
J.P. Morgan Chase.
Well, this is Chase.
That's an old
J.P.
bank.
Morgan Chase. Who was J.P. Morgan? He was one of the early signers on to the Federal Reserve System, if we will.
I believe he was at Jekyll Island over that Christmas break.
I don't think he was there. I think he had a representative
with
little
was
too
that
risky.
Wilson, right? Woodrow Wilson.
Wilson wasn't there. But
I mean, they didn't fine him, but his livelihood. Well, he shot himself.
They canceled
in the foot.
Who?
Yeah, he got
Kanye.
Kanye West.
They canceled him.
Yeah.
Not J.P. Morgan. He didn't shoot himself in the foot.
No.
No, he established his family's future for
Yeah.
many generations. Must be nice. But
Yeah, well, Kanye West has that kind of power too, actually. That's the thing. Somebody that I've kind of...
Kanye's a different character, dude. He's gone through a lot of phases over the years. We'll just say this. And there's a lot of people who think that he's some type of MK Ultra plant, which I don't go down that route. The MK Ultra stuff we're doing is tangible, legitimate
Never met
evidence.
the man.
Yeah.
No, his father was a Black Panther.
Oh, really?
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, stand up.
Whatever, yeah, fuck yeah. Get pissed, dude. I mean, I'm not
you know what? At those
condoning what they
times-
do, but
really,
he was also I mean-
the most they did was exercise their freedom of their Second Amendment right.
Yeah, like
and walked around with weapons.
black people can own firearms. Yeah, well, no shit. It's fucked up.
Yeah, you're an American
You're an
citizen.
American.
Absolutely.
Fucking A right.
And all these white cops were like, oh boy.
We can't let these black people have fire.
Yeah, this is scary now. Yeah, we better arrest them all. Yeah. So we've talked about it on the show before where the systematic racism did exist in our country.
Yeah.
We agree with that. But guess what?
But if you did agree
it
at the
doesn't
time,
now. It's
that was
over.
misinformation.
Was it? Yeah.
No, if you're on the opposite side, that would have been misinformation.
No, it's over with, dude.
Well,
I mean,
but I'm saying back in the day,
I would. Yeah.
if you go against
Yeah, you could. It could probably be construed as a misinformation.
Which
if you
narrative?
thought that African Americans, which I don't really care for that term, they're Black Americans because a lot of them,
most of them haven't been to Africa.
Yeah, you know. And my brother-in-law is Black, and he is on the same lines of that. He's like, dude, why would I be considered an African American? I've never been to Africa. I was born in America. I love America. I'm a fucking American.
I think I've met your brother-in-law once, and there's nothing really African about him.
No, not at all. He's pretty
He's a very
average American guy. Yeah,
that's our sarcasm. It's he's a Black American.
Yeah, and he loves his country, and he.
There's no reason not to.
Yeah, and he also agrees that yes, our country has problems.
Yeah,
you know,
no
should. We'll have him on the show sometime. He's a great guy. But yeah, he's got a lot to say about that too. He agrees that there were some issues in our country in the past, but now a lot of it is more or less on an individual basis where people think that somebody's being racist when they're actually not. You know, so either way, though,
I kind of wonder if Kanye West though just isn't some sort of
CIA
persecuted
plant.
messenger.
No.
I don't know what's going on with his anti-Semitic comments. I don't know what that shit's about. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know much about it. Really, the stuff I hear is from Erock.
circulate back, I just want to point out
Sack you
Stacey
back.
Abrams claims that black men have been fooled by misinformation and are dampening her poll numbers.
Oh man,
she said
yeah,
it.
they have
She
been
said it.
because the Democrats been lying to him for years. She's right.
She said, "Quote:
Is that because
unfortunately
she
this year,
might lose, or
unfortunately this year, black men have been a very targeted population for misinformation." She was talking to MSNBC.
Does that
over the
mean
weekend and,
her poll numbers to win the election don't look that good?
She must be worried.
quote, not information about what they want, but about what they want, what they deserve. I don't
What? How dare her tell...
Did you play the clip?
That was a quote?
Yeah.
How dare her tell black men what they should or should not need in their life?
That's-
I'm pretty sure.
they're
I'm
fed
pretty sure
misinformation.
they're men, and they can make their own decisions.
Yeah.
They're human beings.
Does she know that PayPal's going to come for them for $2,500?
I would certainly hope so, but who knows, man? That's another reason why we're doing this show. We're trying to get the information out there that a lot of people don't see.
Yeah, that
like I said,
literally.
Last time I checked, they were human beings.
Yeah.
They can make their own decisions.
What did Joe
And
Biden say on that podcast?
If you don't vote for me,
You ain't
you
black.
ain't black.
You ain't black.
Okay, play the clip.
Yeah, we will.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
But anyway.
Well, yeah, that's because of Joe's extensive experience in the black neighborhoods.
Yeah, him and Corn Pop.
Hey, he's got hairy legs.
You quick-witted jackass.
So, I think we this is we're gonna
Yeah, that's a good point.
We're gonna have to bring this
It's
to
a
an
good
end
place.
here.
Yeah,
it's a good ending. So, yeah, there's that DHS stuff really worries me. You know, we'll see what happens. But like, hey, we called it. We called it out. They're not going to get rid of that. They're going to continue their program.
Well, it's not we called it. It's been called for a long time from people that you should listen to.
And that's the
Ron
other,
Paul, Rand Paul.
We're just regurgitating what we've learned from other people.
Yeah.
Really, I mean,
our truth.
Yeah, and this is another reason that makes our show work really good. I think is because we're all three of us working together as a team, bringing different information, different sources.
It's not different.
Well, it's not different. It's the same
No,
information from different sources.
Yeah, I'm just an idiot questioning you guys because you guys know more than I do.
No, we're idiots being questioned by an idiot.
So we're like the blind leading the blind here.
Yeah,
So once again, we mentioned it in the beginning of the show. Read our description. Don't believe a word we say. Do your own research.
But the people leading us are idiots, just like the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can count on us not having a nefarious agenda behind the information we're trying to share with you. Yeah, we have no other, you know.
Is questioning misinformation? If you question, is that now not allowed?
Apparently, yes. If you question the mainstream narrative, that is going to you're going to be penalized.
Yeah. Well, they have to offer you a kettle of Kool-Aid, and we have to offer you friendly entertainment and friendly conversation.
Mm-hmm. And the well's not poisoned.
Yeah, and that's all that we're doing here.
Yeah.
This isn't revolutionary suicide, folks. This is revolutionary. Take control of yourself.
Yeah.
Your mind. And don't let anybody else own it. I'm just going to say, I think that's all that we have to say.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say, I hope you guys got out there, got involved in your local elections over November 8th. We'll find out about the amendment in Iowa by the time the show airs. So
yeah. I don't think straight
So
ticket,
don't yell at us while you're listening.
No. I don't think straight ticket Republican is going to take care of anything.
I don't either.
And don't vote.
But that's probably where it's going to go.
Don't tell people to vote. If they want to vote, they can vote. I'm tired of people telling me to vote.
Yeah, and that's your right if you want to or not.
Play the George Carlin clip.
Got it.
Why he doesn't vote. End it on that.
All right, we should. So, all right, hey, like, follow, subscribe and share. Please share us. Hit that follow.
Share us with your mouth.
Give us a rating too. If you can give us on Spotify, if you give us a good rating, we really appreciate
Spotify?
that. You hit the star button and then pick how many stars you think we are.
A heart button? I don't know.
Well, that's an interesting take on technology, but I think you should share around the fire.
Yeah, with a beer, and friends.
Yeah, friends.
So
have a conversation, talk, the universe is yours.
Get it off your chest.
The universe is yours.
Don't hold it in.
Yeah.
Yep. So we really appreciate you guys. We thank you a lot. We hope you enjoyed hanging out with us on this Monday or whatever day you listen to us on. Have a great rest of your week.
From Iowa,
signing off.
We're out.
Guys out.
The Iowa Talk Guys out.
On Election Day, I stay home. I don't vote. Fuck them. Fuck them. I don't vote. Two reasons I don't vote. First of all, it's meaningless. This country was bought and sold and paid for a long time ago. The shit they shuffle around every 4 years doesn't mean a fucking thing. And secondly, I don't vote because I believe if you vote, you have no right to complain. People like to twist that around, I know. They say, well, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain. But where's the logic in that? If you vote, and you elect dishonest, incompetent people, and they get into office and screw everything up, well, you are responsible for what they have done. You caused the problem. You voted them in. You have no right to complain. I, on the other hand, who did not vote, who in fact did not even leave the house on Election Day, am in no way responsible for what these people have done and have every right to complain as loud as I want about the mess you created that I had nothing to do with. So I know that a little later on this year you're going to have another one of those really swell presidential elections that you like so much. You'll enjoy yourselves. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure as soon as the election is over, your country will improve immediately. As for me, I'll be home on that day doing essentially the same thing as you. The only difference is when I get finished masturbating, I'm going to have a little something to show for it, folks. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.